Okay, as promised last week, we're here today to talk about what order to watch Black Butler in without getting confused by all the unnecessary filler in the series. To do that, we're going to start out by analyzing the show and determining what's filler and what's canon. But before we get into all that, I want to ask everybody watching to subscribe to Anime Dudes if you're not already, and help us reach a bigger audience by hitting that like button. Alright, now that I'm done begging, we can get started. First up, Episode 1. We start out with Ciel meeting Sebastian and forming the contract. Sebastian will help Ciel get revenge on the people who disgraced him and also murdered his parents. Then we skip to the present day, where we see Sebastian's everyday life as a butler, how that goes, and just how crazy things can get at the Phantom Hive Manor. Ciel later has dinner with one of his manufacturing employees, where the dude gets the shit scared out of him by Sebastian. We later find out the guy was trying to scam Ciel. Now, this episode was a good introduction to the series, but everything in it was never in the manga, besides the fact Ciel formed a contract with Sebastian. That makes this episode filler. Next up is Episode 2. Ciel finds out there's a rat amongst his group, and later gets kidnapped and has to get rescued by Sebastian. This story was taken right out of the manga, so the verdict on Episode 2? Canon. Moving on to Episodes 3 through 6. This is the Jack the Ripper arc, and it's one of my personal favorites through the whole series. Prostitutes are turning up dead, being brutally murdered, and the Queen asks Ciel to hunt down and bring the killer to justice. Ciel later finds out during his investigation that Jack the Ripper is in fact his aunt, Madame Red, and a Grim Reaper, Grell Sutcliffe. These episodes, canon. Now let's take a look at episodes 7 through 12. In these episodes, Ciel and Sebastian investigate a supposed demon hound. Ciel tries to take Sebastian's picture with a supernatural camera. The crew attempts to hunt down a white stag, and Elizabeth gets her feelings hurt by Ciel and winds up at a creepy doll shop where the butler of said shop kidnaps her, and Sebastian and Ciel have to come to the rescue. While all these stories were incredibly creative and fun to watch, none of them came from the manga, so that makes 7 through 12 filler. Our next batch of episodes is 13 to 15. In these episodes, we meet Prince Soma, who, in the English dub, is voiced by the late Christopher Ayres. We did a tribute to him a while back on the channel. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. Anyways, Soma's looking for a servant of his he's extremely close to, Mina. Sebastian enters a curry cooking competition where he comes up with one hell of a dish. These episodes, canon. Episode 16 is our next one, and it's one of my favorites. Ciel is having Ludlow Castle turned into a hotel, but the workers there, they swear the place is haunted, so they cease construction right away. Ciel and Sebastian go investigate, and sure enough, the place is haunted. This episode held my interest from start to finish, but sadly, this episode is filler. Episodes 17 through 24 is when we start to get into all the stories about the Queen and her butler. The Queen's butler, Ash, turns out to be an angel, and him and the Queen go about trying to purify all the evil in the world, which sounds all well and good when you think about it, but watch the series and you'll figure out real fast why they need a Sebastian Michaelis beatdown. These episodes definitely had the most action overall in the entire series, but they were all anime original, which makes these filler. Black Butler II is the second season of the series, and we get to see a second Master and Butler pair going head-to-head with Ciel and Sebastian. But, like with most of Season 1, this season, filler. Next up, we have Black Butler Book of Circus, or Black Butler Season 3. Ciel and Sebastian investigate a strange circus because in every town the circus visits, children go missing, and we get to meet one of my favorite characters, Snake. Season 3 was A1 Pictures returning to honor the manga and us viewers, so rest assured Book of Circus is canon. The OVA Black Butler Book of Murder came out a month after Book of Circus, and let me just say it's an amazing installment to the series if you're a big fan of detective anime like I am. There's a killer hiding at a Phantom Hive get-together, and Ciel has to find out who done it. As with Book of Circus, Book of Murder is canon. Last up is the film Black Butler Book of the Atlantic. Ciel, Sebastian, and Snake aboard a luxury passenger ship to investigate a case of illegal human experimentation, Later on, they find out a doctor on the ship was behind the whole thing, using his experiments to bring the dead back to life. Which, all in all, could be a good thing, but when you see what happens to those he brought back, you're going to change your mind pretty quick. Black Butler Book of Atlantic, canon. Alright, the moment everyone's been waiting for, the correct canonical order to watch Black Butler in. First up, you got Black Butler, episodes 1 through 6. While Black Butler episode 1 is mostly filler, you kinda need it to get a starting point and to understand the main point of the whole story. Then you move on to episodes 13 to 15, then you start Black Butler Book of Circus, go on to Black Butler Book of Murder, and finally Black Butler Book of the Atlantic. And hopefully soon someday, Black Butler Book of Season 4. But honestly, I've watched all the Black Butler filler and I like a lot of them, so if you want more Black Butler in your life, be sure to check them out. And one more thing, if you stayed here all the way to the end, just know, we appreciate you.